Okay, here's another update on my plants. The chili peppers are growing very well. Yeah, these are the Scotch bonnet red ones. The orange habanero ones also look really good. Yeah, and yeah, then there are my tomato plants. Quite a lot of them, really. I think I have over 80 varieties this year, and a lot of interesting ones, like this one, the Dead Moros. A Russian variety that has potato leaves, and it's very early. And I'm a little surprised that more people don't know about this one, because last year it was really one of the best producers out of all varieties. It was very early and it lasted throughout the whole season. Apparently, it withstands cold way better than most other varieties, but in my experience, it also tolerates heat very well. So yeah, it's definitely a variety that I would recommend to most people, and I will also make a video about it. You have another potato leaf. This is probably the Amazon chocolate here. And let me just look. Yep, Amazon chocolate. Also very good variety. And yeah, and then there we also have the alien among the varieties. So yeah, this is stick. A really weird looking tomato, which has regular shaped fruits, but the plant looks really weird. It's more or less an ornamental variety because how much I know, it's a really shy producer. But we'll see this year. I grow it for the first year, and the problem with this variety is, well, yeah, you will see here what's the problem with this. Half of the seedlings come out as regular leafed. So I will probably grow one or two of the normal leafed ones to see how, if they are any kind of different when it comes to the fruits, but I'm not going to take seeds out of them unless they are very well producers, but I kind of doubt that. But yeah, you have to only take the seeds from the ones that have the really weird leaf shape. And there are also my pumpkin and squash plants there. Also got a lot of them. Sweet corn. And yeah, also have this year quite a lot of these dwarf tomatoes. I don't know the name of this one. It's apparently a really old variety that I got it from a man who told me that he apparently bought the seed somewhere, and that was probably 15 or 20 years ago. So that's quite an old variety for a dwarf tomato. And I also have another, yeah, here, from here, a potato leaf variety of the dwarf tomatoes. Here it's Chocats, a Slovene variety. And then from the dwarfs ones, I also have this one here, Tree Balcony Yellow, and somewhere among this is also a more new variety called Sleeping Lady. If only I knew where. Probably here. Yes, Sleeping Lady. You can already see by the plant that this is going to be different. Because dwarf tomatoes are really good if you don't have enough space for a regular tomato. And then we also have this here, the lychee tomatoes, which are now really big compared to the previous time I showed you. And can you already see the spikes? Okay, now it looks really good. If you look closely, you can see the spikes on the leaves, but once they grow a little bigger, then yeah, you would need special gloves to handle these ones. And here are the sweet dumpling squash. Yeah, I've got lots of vegetables this year. So now let's see how many of these potato plants I can sell. Because from all varieties, I'm just going to plant about 2 of the plantlets, because otherwise I could open a tomato fabric or something. I don't know. Okay. Not all the varieties are really fast growers, and for some reason the white queen variety kind of doesn't grow that well, and I don't get why. But it doesn't matter. It already happened a few years ago with a few other varieties that for some reason the plants didn't want to grow compared to the other ones, even though they are planted into the same soil basically at the same time and had the exact conditions to grow, but for some reason they don't want to grow that well. But once you plant them outside, they all recover, and in the end you don't even notice that they were really small at first. But yeah, as you can see, you can really see by the different leaf shapes that there are lots of different varieties here. That there is in the middle Jersey Devil, paste-shaped tomato, which is really good. And then what's here? Let me just look up. Green Bell. Yeah, green tomatoes. Here's probably green zebra tomatoes. And here are the orange banana tomatoes. This is the Japanese black truffle or something. I always forget the exact name, but that's a really good black tomato that doesn't crack often. So I really like that about it. Then here I think it's the rice tomata. Let me just look. Yes, rice tomata. It has a really very distinct shape, kind of similar to that of the striped cavern. Then here, if I'm not mistaken, is the Tika tomato, a German variety that is great for organic gardening because it is really disease resistant. And let me just get out of here without falling back. Here is Bon Pierre, a variety from a seed house in my country. It's basically improved standard tomato, and yeah, I'm really surprised that it's not more common here actually. But then again, the variety came out like 6 years ago. So, and then we have the white currant tomatoes. They are always really small when they are seedlings, and there's also a small pepper plant in between. If it's going to grow, it will. If it won't, it won't. Then here is the, I think, white Oxford. Yep, white Oxford tomato. And in case you're wondering how I know all of these names, well, if you're handling all of these plantlets for more than a month, you kind of start to see the differences between them. Oh, and here I almost forgot the Kumata that I showed you the previous time. It looks so freaking weird compared to all the other varieties. It's not a fast grower. It has really pale leaves. The growth points are almost yellow. I mean, like, look at this. They are almost yellow compared to all of these, which have a healthy green color. But yeah. What's this here? Easel. Oh, that's a local variety. It has really big red fruits. Although I have noticed that the production depends on the season. If the temperatures aren't right, you only get a few really big tomatoes, and that's basically it. And what's here? Garden peach tomatoes. Here. Also, it's on my own variety. Actually, it's also like a peach. Just it has pink fruits. I will show you how the fruits look to you. This is probably, oh no, actually I have video material from the previous season. I will continue with the videos shortly. It depends. At the moment I really don't have time to do videos. So if it won't happen earlier, then I'll probably start making videos in July or August or something, sometime around that. Yeah, here is probably orange oxheart. No, goldfish actually. Oh, first time that I mistake one of the varieties. Can happen. And ruby German green is somewhere around here. Yep, this is Aunt Ruby German green, really broad leaves. Although this year it kind of doesn't grow as vigorous as it did in the last few years. I don't know. Some of these plantlets were transplanted about a week later than the first ones. I think these ones, which might explain why they are slightly smaller. And at that time we also got really cold temperatures, so maybe that hurt them a little, but whatever. Oh, and also here you can already see by the violet stalks that this is going to be one of those purple, violet tomatoes, and it's also blue. A really good variety if you don't have late blight. From my experience, it tolerates early blight really well, but the late blight really kills it easily if you neglect it, so you have to make sure of that. And when it comes to the taste, it's kind of average, but the fruits stay for a long time and they look really cool, so I will keep on growing that one. Although I have two other varieties, indigo rose and amethyst jewel, I think. And here, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Chongli. Yep, Chongli, really tall tomatoes. It's basically an improved version of yellow pear, just that it doesn't have pear shape, but more like plum shaped tomatoes. And they are really sweet. And when it comes to disease resistance, it's about the same as with yellow pear, and both plants are also so vigorous, so even if a few leaves are affected by late blight, you just cut them off and treat the plant and it grows back really fast. So yeah. And I think it's going to start to rain here. And I probably won't have much to say about the fruit trees this year. And the reason was it snowed actually. A few days ago, here everything was covered with snow. I'll have it on video. Thankfully, this plum variety, what's yo-yo plum, yeah, this one, that's I just put it down there so the frost didn't affect it. But the Mirabelle Nancy plum, yeah, that one, I can forget about having plums from that variety, while from the other ones that are down there, the green gauge plum will have probably like 10 plums, the whole tree, while the one of the other gauge, or I don't know what the correct English name for those varieties. In Germany, they call them Merenkloda. And yeah, that one actually tolerated frost really well. So maybe I'll make a video about that one, but for now, let's see. If it's going to rain a little, then I'm going to leave the plants here. If it's going to rain a lot, I will have to put them inside of my garage. Yeah, I don't have a greenhouse, so the plants go there every time it rains, but considering how fast they grow, they apparently don't bother. In the greenhouse, they would have been even bigger, but on the plus side, this way they don't get any shock when you transplant them outside, because they are already used to colder temperatures. They are used to getting wind blown at them. They are tough little plants here, so I don't care in the end if they are like 5 to 10 centimeters shorter than they would have been in a greenhouse, because at the end, if you transplant a really big tomato plant from a greenhouse into an open field, that's basically my field is on that side there. Yeah, how should I say? The plants don't like that. They aren't used to colder temperatures, and here it's a very open area, so we get a lot of wind here, and yeah, a lot of people actually started to buy plants from me here around because they noticed that my plants withstand the conditions here way better than the uh, 40 centimeters tall plants that they buy from the greenhouses, because once you transplant them outside, it almost takes a month before they really start to grow, because the plants are just in a complete shock because they aren't used to those conditions. So yeah, oh, I hope they didn't press the mute button, but okay. If not, then I'm just going to record it again, but okay. I think I'm going to end the video here. Maybe just look what this tomato is here, because I kind of forgot it. Jabuchar. Oh, it's a Yugoslavian variety. A really standard tomato, but hey, people here want to buy the plant, so who cares? I personally wouldn't grow this variety because the other ones are way, way tastier. But if you want the standard tomato that's perfectly shaped and basically only used for salads, go for this one. Okay. So I'm ending my video here now. Bye.